Okay, so tonight I'm going to work on a couple different projects, so I hope you guys bear with me. I'm going to be using the Let's Resin polyurethane resin, and I know I said I was going to do like clear on these two projects. However, I'm going to use this, and that way we have a faster cure time, and it's an experiment, and I'm going to use it with the golden yellow resin pigment inks. Those are by the Craft Smart. I got these through probably Temu, I believe, and it's a real pretty honey color, so I thought that would be really good on this piece especially. So give me just a second. I'll mix or get this ready to pour up and do this together, because it cures really fast. So I'll be back in just about a minute or so. Be right back. Okay, we're back. So let me get this zoomed out a little bit more. Get a better angle here. Alright, we've got approximately 15 mLs, I believe that is. Yes. Now y'all can't really see that. 15 mLs of part A and 15 mLs of part B. And you only have approximately 2-minute work time, 10-minute fast cure, and it depends on how shallow you mix these, how thin the piece is. Like something like this piece here, it would take about 20 minutes or so, just because they're really thin, they're not very big. So before I mix those in the cup, I have to open up my yellow pigment here. Give me one moment. Oops, I'm making a mess here. I got it all over my gloves. Okay, no big deal. Alright, now we got that open. As you can see, I kind of made a little bit of a mess on the top here. Just give it a quick wipe. And we're ready to go. Alright, so pour part B into my cup. But before I put part A in, I'm going to go ahead and add my color, because as it dries, it will actually get, make it more of a pastel kind of color. Clean out my cup, and I can use that again another time. And these are not very pigmented anyway, so we're just going to give it a little bit, couple of squirts there. And set that off to the side as well. And I need to get a stick. Alright, here we go. We'll go ahead and stir the color in real quick here. That's more yellow. Let's add a little bit of orange to that. Let's see what we can do. I'm looking for a nice orangey golden. I'll try 3 drops for now. See what happens. Almost like a nice dark golden honey color. There we go. That's better. And again, this is a polyurethane. It's got a really, really quick cure time. So it won't take hardly any time at all to mix this together and get these poured into their containers. Alright, now I'm not going to worry about that cup because I don't have a lot of time here. So I stir for approximately 30 to 60 seconds. And I'm hoping that it's going to be enough to put into this container, or that mold rather. And go from there. The only thing I've noticed about this compared to other, it's already getting warm. I can feel it in my hand. The only thing I can tell as far as an actual difference with this resin, other than the fact that it's more of a ceramic type look to it when it's done, is that it heats up so quickly. Like that. That is a perfect amount. Couldn't do that again if I tried. Okay. Now, we're going to use this paper cup again, I think. So we'll just leave that set. Now you will actually get to see, try to get any of the bubbles from underneath that rose petal thing. You see them coming up a little bit. And just really taking their time and coming up out of that rose. And you will see this actually cure very quickly here in about a minute or less. So, whoops, make a mess there. And it is quite an oily residue once you get this stuff started. Trying to get these bubbles to come up before the curing process really starts. Not because I'll be able to actually see them in the finished product, but I don't want it to compromise the integrity of the piece overall. Kind of move them off to the side. And I can always sand anything that doesn't set off the edges. Probably could have done a little bit more than that. I don't know if you can see it, but it's already starting to turn colors just a little bit. And the bubbles are having a more difficult time coming to the surface at this point. It's starting to get thicker. And the magic, my friends, is really truly about to happen because it's getting very hot. You can feel the heat coming off of it just by the top of your hand. Here we go. Here comes the magic. You can see how it's all dispersing right there. That is so cool. Now, obviously, there's not a whole lot I can do with it now because it's already getting kind of hard in there. Right now, it's kind of got the consistency of like a jello, I guess, which is really fun to play with as far as this type of resin. So while I'm waiting for this one to cure, we'll move it right over here. Now this is live. We're about 9 minutes into this process. That's with mixing the colors, mixing the resin types, and it's starting to form already. So for this piece here that we started the other day, it's got the real pretty glitter, the holographic glitter, the ultra fine. We use that in the beginning piece with this. So I'm going to actually use, let's see here. I've got some pigments here. Let me find a really pretty purple. How about amethyst? This is also from a company that I got off of Temu. Actually, might have picked these up at a yard sale. But it is, what is the name of that? I can't even pronounce that, I don't think. But it's amethyst color. And of course you got to shake it up real good before you use it. And I think I've only used 1 or 2 of these since I actually purchased them. Now, as you can see, it's not quite solid on here, but the heat is very, very warm on there. And I will probably not need as much, so we'll try, let's see, I'll probably do 10 and 10 on this rose here. Let's see if this one's open. Okay, yep, that one's open. So I don't need my nippers, which is pretty good. Alright, so bear with me and we'll mix up another batch real quick. And need another cup. Sorry about bouncing this thing around. You know what? We'll mix this up in a plastic cup this time. Alright, so we'll mix it up in that one. And by the time I have this one poured, this one should be done. If you hear the barking dog, that's my future service animal. He's in his kennel and he's not very happy with me right now. Alright, there's that. There's about 10 mLs in that. You hear a mason jar because somehow I ended up with a hole in the jug of part B, so I had to put it in a mason jar. And again, this is our Let's Resin polyurethane. So we'll mix our part B, or dump our part B into that. And this is a 1-to-1, so we need approximately as close to 10 mLs in this one as we can as well. Just a smidge more. Alright, so we'll set that there. Clean up the side of the jug because it tends to run down the bottom of it a little bit. I would say that that honeybee piece is just about ready, but we're not. Okay, so we're going to drop our color. We'll do 4 drops of the amethyst. And we're going to go ahead and mix that in real quick. That's really pretty. Now with this polyurethane, you can actually add colors and things to it, like you would normal resin. But they cure up so much faster, and it is a almost looks like ceramic, but it's not. It's still resin, but it leaves a lot to be interpreted on this. Alright, so we are going to pour a little bit to start with, because there are a few little nooks and crannies in there. I'm just going to kind of coat the edges over here. Okay, and this is probably, from the looks of it, going to be too much. Maybe, yep, just a smidge. Alright, so I really don't have anything to use that with, so we'll just discard that little bit. It might have been like an ml or less. Now, as you can tell, I'll move this around a little bit. Put my colors back. This one is still really, really warm. So I'm going to leave that set for just another minute or two, while this one does what it needs to do. And again, you'll actually get to see some of, let me see if I can zoom that in just a little bit. There we go. And you'll be able to watch it here in just another couple seconds. It'll start to actually start changing and getting darker. And you'll see the polyurethane actually starting to harden, just like you did with this one. Now that one is probably ready to come out, but I'm going to give it just another little bit. So we'll set this one off over here. And again, guys, this is in real time. We're only 16 minutes in. One piece is pretty much finished, and we're just waiting for this one to start with the chemical reaction where it gets hot and it starts to cure up very, very quickly. And it should be in just literally seconds. Because once it starts right in the center, right in here. And you won't be able to miss it. Yep, it's already starting to get warm. This is the hard part, just waiting for this thermal type thing to start its process. I like how it's currently translucent. I wish I could have kept that property in there. However, I think it's going to be very interesting to see what it turns out to look like. It says it's low odor, but it actually has a decent amount of smell to it. So make sure you're in a well-ventilated area, and if you feel you need to, wear a mask or eye protection. Use common sense, guys. Alright, it looks like it may be starting to thicken up. So there it goes. Do you see that? There's your temperature change in a nutshell. That is the coolest resin ever. We are now into 18.5 minutes, and piece number 2 is already starting to solidify. So now we'll go back out, set this one on the side for now, and we'll open this one up because it's ready, because it just pops right out. You see the honeybee on the side? I had actually dusted this mold with a little bit of mica. I hope I don't bump that other piece over there, because that would really irritate me. Now this one is the one with the rose and some clear resin as well. Oh, shnikes. Well, it didn't break, so we're good. There's some dust on there. I'll have to wash that off with some soap and water at some point. Alright, so we're going to slide this one back here so I don't have to worry about it as much. So, just kind of reach in, pull it out, and other than a little bit right here on the edge, it'll come right off. It's clean inside. Now, it does have a matte finish for this mold, and there is that rose down in there. However, because of the polyurethane, and there were a few bubbles that tried to come up out of there, you can see them right there, That or it was actual resin. So it looks kind of like a honey drip down the edges there. I think I really like that. But you can see the shimmer from some mica powder that I put on there. So all I have to do is just kind of rub this stuff off or use use a fingernail file. That's what I'm looking for. Alright, so for this piece, I am going to get my UV resin, and it is also Let's Resin, and move a couple things out of the way here. Gotta plug in my UV light. Alright, I'm gonna zoom you back out just a little bit further and tip you over here a little bit. Now, like I said, I'm going to use some UV resin, and the theory is that will help it to not be the matte finish that you see. So what I'm going to do, try to keep you guys in focus here, is I'm going to put a little bit up here. And I'm going to let it kind of drip down a little ways. But I'm also going to use a toothpick. Actually, we will use one of these. Okay, so I need to kind of get this going around the edges here. Now, it may not work 100% as I'd hoped, and that's okay. This piece was just an experiment anyway. Could have used some regular resin a little higher up, because I just wanted to make sure I could see the honeybee that's in there. So we're going to pop that in for, we'll do 60. Whoops, I'm sorry. You see it sitting in there. Wipe off the UV resin, and hopefully that will be just enough to harden it up and not let it falter in any way. We're going to turn it off because I know it hasn't been 90 seconds yet. And I do need to add a little bit more right there on the top. Yeah, it's still kind of tacky. Alright, just one more little spot. I see a tiny little section right here. And we'll put it in for another 30. I'm still adjusting to my new tripod, guys. Bear with me a little bit. If you don't mind, I'd appreciate it. Alright. You can actually see where I put the honeybee in there. And this is not as good as what I'd wanted it to be, but it's still rather cute. I'm going to put that back under here. We'll do 90. let's unveil and see what this one looks like. Look at that. Peels right off. The mold is phenomenal. I got these off of Etsy, I think. And I unfortunately do not remember who the seller is. Oh, nope, it's not done yet. Yeah, it's too late to back out now. Alright. That just goes to show you that got to be kind of careful because I tore off one of my petals. Alright. But anyway, there's what that looks like. Like I said, I should have waited a little bit longer because apparently it was getting very warm on the resin. So, alright, I'll set that over here on the silicone. And a little bit in there. It didn't cure the way I'd hoped. So that's my fault. Guys, I'm still learning myself, so it works out in the end. Good or bad, it'll work out in the end. Alright, get my hands a wipe with a baby wipe. Alright. Like I said, I'm fairly new to the UV resin. There's our honeybee. And there's the rose. So, alright. Now, guys, my next project, I'll do this video, or do the next video. It'll be tonight. It is March 13th, I think. It's Thursday. And I will be doing another video shortly. And I'm going to be working on another set of molds from Pouring Your Heart Out. And they are the Live Edge, and it's a matte finish around the edges when they come out. But overall, the tops are nice and shiny. It's like a live edge, almost like a granite type edge on the outside of these. So this is going to be my next project. I'll be using regular resin, and I'm going to be trying my cast and craft for the first time. It is, I believe it's opaque. I'm pretty sure it's a black resin, or black pigment, excuse me. So we're going to go with a black since this is the granite or slate edging. So that's what we're up to. Guys, thanks for watching. Look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.